New polls show people are not confident that our government is competent, and the president's approval rating stands at 42%.
Donald Trump reminds everyone who's in charge with a major announcement.
We've stripped all of the paints off. We had 200 years of paint, and we've redone it, and it's beautiful.
Tonight, congressional Republicans start to break with Donald Trump as the president eases into lame duck mode.
I won't go on a long story about that because a couple of people said he kept talking about the pen. Actually, many people found it interesting, and some people thought I was doing too much of a weave.
Then Senator Chris Holland joins me on Trump's Iran mess.
And they said, we will agree to open the strait. And all my people were happy. Everybody was happy except me.
Plus, a stunning new reporting on Kash Patel's FBI investigation into a New York Times reporter, and Congressman Robert Garcia on the Trump family grift happening right out in the open.
Joining us now is Foundation Future Industries founder and CEO Sankat Patak and the company's chief strategy advisor, Eric Trump, President Trump's son.
And All In starts right now. Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. You may not see it right now, but I can tell you Republicans are growing restless. They are calculating where their political fortunes lie. And it comes down to a single question. When will the survival of their careers depend on forces other than Donald Trump? Now, for much of a decade, they have answered, not yet. But at some point, Donald Trump will not be the sum total of what it means to be a Republican. And we may be hurtling toward that moment today. As the nation sours on the president, more members in his own party grow willing to tell him, subtly, cagely, no. I mean, this all really started with Trump's slow rolling of the Epstein files last year, uniting conservatives and liberals in Congress against him, that huge rebellion, right? The discharge petition, the vote against him, leading many to ask about the nature of the president's friendship with the very noted child sex trafficker, Jeffrey Epstein. The Epstein debacle has led former MAGA stalwarts like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and Thomas Massie to break publicly with Trump. It even led to the firing of Attorney General Pam Bondi, a role now being performed by Trump's former criminal defense attorney. Today, the theoretically independent watchdog of the Department of Justice announced a probe into how the department identified and redacted the Epstein files it released. It remains an issue that haunts sitting members of Trump's administration. Today, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, who has admitted to visiting Epstein's island with his wife, kids, and nannies, plural, was on Capitol Hill to defend Trump's flailing economy, and he got tough questions about both stories.
These are huge historic numbers.
Let me reclaim my time for a moment, Mr. Secretary, because I know, but you can't even tell us how many jobs we've lost. So I don't know about what we're seeing in the future.
I didn't mean to be theatrical.
Don't laugh. There's nothing funny about it. Don't laugh at my situation about a thousand families out of work.
I just wanted to ask, why did you publicly claim following your nomination that you were never in a room with him after 2005?
Whatever questions you have, if you would give them to your colleagues, I will answer them. But today, I am here to testify about the budget.
No Epstein questions, please. I don't want to talk about why I said that the first time I met him, I was so creeped out with him that I never wanted to hang out with him again. And then I got caught lying about that because I was on the island with my kids and my wife and our nannies. But if Lutnick's cheerleading doesn't make you feel better about the Trump economy, you're in good company in this country, according to data that even Fox cannot ignore.
New polls show people are not confident that our government is competent, and the president's approval rating stands at 42%. He's way behind on inflation, the economy, and government spending.
We're now at the point in this administration where some Republicans are openly blasting Trump over his unilateral war in Iran. Many prominent MAGA influencers with huge online followings are turning against him. He's then lashing back out at those former supporters, saying, quote, they're not MAGA, they're losers. He's calling them low IQ. Of course, just to think about this, those podcasters and influencers, right? They are making their own calculations, not that dissimilar from politicians, about their audiences, where their audience is at, where their future audience will be at, and their livelihoods, right? What's going to make them money? It just so happens Trump doesn't have his historical hold on that audience. Many Republicans are still hopping mad over their loss this week in a Virginia redistricting referendum, which only happened because Trump pushed so hard on red states like Texas to do this mid-decade gerrymandering, creating a redistricting arms race Democrats are now poised to win. Another dumb war Trump picked and lost. It was all reverse engineered to keep Trump from losing Congress and, this is the only thing he cares about, getting impeached. Just like his bill to take federal control of all the elections, the Save America Act. The thing that Trump said was his #1 priority, that he was going to have a legislative boycott of everything until it was passed. Well, today, this is interesting. So today, Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana tried to insert that act into the federal budget bill that Congress is currently debating. And he failed because 4 Republicans joined Democrats to shoot it down. But again, who really cares about legislation when you've got a ballroom to build? As Trump fawns over blueprints and posts endless renderings of his future palace complex, he's leaving it to those increasingly restless House Republicans to do the other stuff, like passing a budget. As one Trump ally in Congress, Troy Nehls, told The Hill today, House Speaker, quote, Mike Johnson has a very difficult job. He has the second toughest job in the world. The Lord Jesus couldn't lead this delegation. You mean Republicans might need divine intervention while the head of their party is picking a fight with Supreme Pontiff, the Catholic Church? Today, in an exclusive interview with MSNOW, even Trump's first vice president admitted Trump was not the good guy in that fight.
Well, I found the language and the images offensive. I think the president was right to take one image down. His ongoing argument with Pope Leo, I think, has abated to a degree, and I welcome that.
If you know Mike Pence at all, if you followed his career, that's about as slashing as he gets. It's the equivalent of him throwing up 2 middle fingers. Today, all of Trump's petty grievances abated to a degree, while he dozed on and off, as he likes to do, in the middle, someone say something? In the middle of a press conference in the Oval Office as his aides spoke on, and again, mid-afternoon, who could blame him? If you keep asking yourself, how are we doing this still? When will the fever break? It hasn't happened yet. But again, Americans are rapidly turning against Donald Trump, so much so that we are, I think, quite clearly entering a lame duck period, one of the longest I think we're ever going to see in American politics, where every Republican politician's calculations for self-preservation are going to shift away from Trump inexorably as well. MSNOW political analyst Claire McCaskill previously served as Democratic Senator from Missouri. Charlie Dent's former Republican Congressman from Pennsylvania, and they both join me now. Charlie, I want to go to you first because I don't want anyone to mistake what I'm saying here as like, oh, Republicans are going to grow a spine or they're going to find their like, we're past all that. I don't think any of that matters. We're talking purely dispassionate calculation of self-preservation, self-interest, and future political success. Do you think calculations are changing at all right now? And if not, what would it take for them to change?
Well, calculations have to change for any Republican House member who represents a district that Donald Trump won by about 10 points or less, maybe 12 points or less, because they know that they will need some separation from the president. If they don't find separation, it's likely that many of them will lose their races. So for those members, tying yourself tightly to Donald Trump is a recipe for defeat. Now, there are members who are in very safe seats who can continue to tie themselves to Donald Trump. Their margins may shrink a bit, but they will still be reelected. So yes, there are Republicans who do realize they need separation. And also, many Republicans are not running again because they understand that the dynamics of this election cycle are just so bad, particularly given the fact that independent voters are turning against Republicans in big numbers. Plus the fact, of course, that we saw what happened with all these special elections and the off-year election has been no good news.
What do you think on the Senate side, Claire? Because obviously there's a big uphill battle for Senate Democrats to win back that body. I think it looked really unlikely 3 to 6 months ago. It now looks, again, an uphill battle, but doable. And I think also begins to start to change the calculations of senators a little bit at the margins, although maybe I'm wrong. What do you think?
Well, first of all, the ones that are in trouble have had some separation from Trump. Dan Sullivan, and that's the other thing, Chris, I don't think we're giving enough attention to some of these states that are really in play. Yeah. Alaska is in play. You don't hear a lot about Maryland on national media. You hear a lot about Texas. You hear a lot about Maine. You hear a lot about Georgia and North Carolina. But Sherrod Brown is basically neck and neck in Ohio and Iowa. We've got 2 good candidates running in Iowa. And as long as unity remains the watchword, as long as we stay together after these primaries like we have in Texas, I think Iowa is definitely in play. So we have way more states in play than I think most people ever dreamt we would. Now we just need all the people who support